FWD Champions Mile is up next. Race number 7, the second of the Group 1s on the programme. 1,600 metres, of course, headed by Beauty Generation, who's won this race for the last 2 seasons. Zach Purtner riding from barrier number 4. Waikuku disappointing last time. He's come up with barrier 8. Kying Star roll forward. Rattan, barrier 6 for him. Southern Legend, Vincent Ho from 5. More than this out of the Derby. Singapore Sling, unfortunately, a scratching. And then Fat Turtle and a first Group 1 runner for Douglas White. He'll be ridden by Blake Shin from barrier number 2. Now, Southern Legend is the horse that's been up at Chung Fa within the last 30 days of these runners. Now, we're at the touchscreen to have a look at the speed map for this one, Tom. And as far as the pace is concerned, we've got the regulars. I suppose Beauty Generation would lead if he could, but Kying Star, I imagine, with that inside draw, he'll be pushing forward as well.
Yeah, that sets up perfectly for him, Kying Star and Antoine Hamlin to go forward from gate number 1 and control the tempo there. I think with Beauty Generation and gate number 5, that'll allow Zach just to get him into a good rhythm, find his feet and get a spot just in behind Kying Star there, maybe potentially right on his outside as well, and then really put the hammer down towards the 700 metres. Thinking big, I think he's in at the deep end here. He's drawn gate number 2. Southern Legend, he's a horse that will, I think, just sit in behind Beauty Generation. Then you've got Fat Turtle, Rattan. Waikuku will drift back, no doubt, from his stall as well, Waikuku. Yeah, good to slow predict it. I thought it might go a little bit quicker than that. But Paul, what do you got track work-wise for us?
We'll have a look at some of the main stars here. With first one, obviously, Beauty Generation. A couple of even sectionals for him as he comes down. The horse is going really nicely, as you'd expect. He's in good form and ready for a three-peat. So, look, everything's going well for Beauty Generation. No problems. Barrier 5 for him. Waikuku put in a bit of a poor run last time. Look, his work's been good since. See if he can bounce back. Waikuku, he's a good horse, as we know, and he travels nicely in his work here. Joe Moreira aboard for Waikuku. And the other one we're going to have a look at is More Than This. Look, he's going nice. He's just working Winston's Lad. He's the one closest to us, Winston's Lad. He can be a bit of a lazy track worker, More Than This. But, look, he's come out of the Derby with no issues and he goes well.
All right. Well, let's start off with Waikuku, see if he can bounce back after that disappointment run last time. His jockey is Joe Moreira.
Waikuku's had the better of Beauty Generation for most of this season, but that wasn't how things unfolded last time. Is he good enough to bounce back?
Well, I'd like to say I hope so. He is no doubt a very good horse as well. He's done very well this season. My conversation with John Size lately has been that usually when good horses do what he has done, eventually come to a flat spot. It might be the case for his poor run last start. So I'm very hopeful that he can bounce back, knowing that he's a very good horse. If he brings his best, he's no doubt a winning chance.
That's just it, isn't it, Tom? If he brings his best, but I think got a lot of ground to make up on Beauty Generation on their last start.
He certainly does, Andrew. He was really disappointing last time out when he was sent out favourite. Maybe after that break when he won his Group 1 back in January, that little bit of a freshen up and whatnot, maybe he just needed that run. You look at his second up form, he's had 2 starts second up for a win and a second placing. So, look, I think he can bounce back and serve it up to Beauty Generation. Whether he's good enough to win it remains to be seen.
Yeah, that's a quidella for me. I think Waikuku, we can forgive him his last run, and I think he's going to go nicely once again here.
All right, well, let's have a look at then at Beauty Generation, beating Kying Star, Southern Legend, Waikuku back on the rail and Fat Turtle towards the rear. Yeah,
look, it was a nice win from Beauty Generation. So, look, it's just a matter of, I mean, this track was a little bit off and Waikuku wasn't up to his best. So, look, I'm going to put it down to the track with Waikuku, and I think he can bounce back. Kying Star, look, he's one of the main players, no doubt whatsoever. He stays on nicely. Southern Legend was a better run from him. I don't know if he was aided by the track. Well, I couldn't have Fat Turtle.
It was a really good fight here from Beauty Generation. Fought on strongly to win. Southern Legend couldn't quite sneak him into the top 4. He stayed on pretty well. Kying Star on the inside. Furore was a better run there, but I still think at the moment the jury's out on Furore.
All right. What about More Than This? We were, I think, for the most part, all of us thinking further the better, up to the 2,000 metres, big player there, but he's coming out of the Derby, and now we're thinking maybe a strongly run mile might be his best chance. Yeah,
and whether he's going to get a strongly run mile here, I think it'll be on the good side, the speed in this race. You can see him here. He was just boxing on fairly well there in the Derby last time out. Would love to see him, the connections, Francis Law and whatnot, put a set of blinkers on him. I think that would really help him at this point of his career. I think he can still run a race, though.
Yeah, I reckon a mile suits him. David Morgan, one of the riders here, put a really good story together. Is he a lazy miler or is he a stayer? And they came up with the fact that he's a lazy miler, making up words here. And I agree. I think he is a lazy miler.
We're about to find out. Back to Waikuku for a moment here. He's been back at the trials. Ratan, who ran well at this meeting last year in the Chairman's Sprint Prize, and here's more than this again right at the back.
Yeah, so he's just right at the back, and so is Waikuku. They do run on nicely. Obviously, different surface. This is a trial, but it just showed the horse were in good heart, especially Waikuku. I thought he finished it off nicely enough, and you can see the lazy horse being more than this, just starting to wind up at the very end of the trial.
As I said before, we'd love to see them put a set of blinkers on more than this. We can't forget that run that he produced, 5 runs ago now, more than this, or 4 runs ago, when he was able to win at Sha Tin on International Day over 1,600 metres. That was enormous.
This is thinking big at the trials. A good trial as well. That's Time Warp out in front and Exultant about to loom up on his outside.
Can't have this horse here. He trialled OK without getting too carried away. I just think he's in at the deep end. He's not done enough. He's been beaten 12 3/4 in both of his runs. The rider was concerned with his action last time out. Brought good form from Australia, but not going good enough to feature in this.
Yeah, I agree with that. I couldn't have him in this. I think he needs to show a bit more in Hong Kong yet.
Someone likes him. He's pretty short in the place mark. I said loomed up with Exultant as well. He was actually driven out, wasn't he? But he was a good horse. That was the point I was trying to make. So what do you like here, Paul? Who comes out on top this time?
Yeah, Beauty Generation for me. I think he can beat Waikuku, but that's a Quinella once again for me. I've got a Joe and Zach Quinella here again. So on top is Beauty Generation to beat Waikuku. More than this, we'll give him a chance in there for third. And in for fourth, we're going to put in a Ka Ying Star. So 1, 2, 6 and 3. But I do like that 1 and 2 Quinella, Tom.
Likewise, here I'm in the same bandwagon, 1 and 2, Beauty Generation and Waikuku. I think more than this can run a decent race, and Ka Ying Star to still be there at the finish. Likes a fight and normally boxes on fairly well. So 1, 2, 6 and 3.
We've all got the same 4 numbers, slightly different order. Beauty Generation for the 3-peat, but Ka Ying Star, I think if he does find the front under Antoine Hamlin, is absolutely flying. He's the one he's going to have to run down in the straight. That's the FWD Champions Mile. Next up for us is the big one of the day, the FWD QE2 Cup.